Welcome to Popkait's Corner.
Welcome to Popkait's Corner. I'm sorry we've been gone for so long, but it feels good to be back. And today we're talking about one of my current obsessions, which is
The BTS!
Woo!
Woo!
All right. Well, Anani Bob, do you want to give us a little intro onto how we got into BTS?
Yeah. So I woke up one morning and my wife leaned over in the bed and looked at me dead in the eye and then just did this. And my life changed after that.
That's not what happened.
Why don't you tell us how it happened?
Oh, so as you may know, we're all dealing with this little thing called the right now.
Don't say its name.
I'm so sorry.
Bleep that out. Editor, bleep that out.
That will be me. I'll bleep it out.
Thank you.
But that means that most of us are kind of confined into our home and we don't have a lot of things to do. So one random Wednesday evening, we were like, oh, the Try Guys have a new video and it's about BTS. Let's check it out. And they, one of their members was in Korea and he left them behind a playlist of BTS songs to check out, and then they were going to do a quiz afterwards to see which BTS member it was. Watching the video, we were highly entertained.
Yeah, I would say that.
And we were like, we have to now learn about BTS, and we have to see which member we are, because what else are we going to do on a random Wednesday evening in the middle of the summer?
Exactly. And for me, that was a fun deviation from the normal weekend. For Caitlin, it became part of her identity. And now she is part of the BTS army. She collects the BT21 gear and swag. She's fully invested in the craze that is BTS. So I was hoping we could play a game to start out before we get into conversations about BTS. And that game is, can you name that BTS? Which is basically me trying to name all of the members from BTS. And you, after I name them, have to give the real name of the BTS member.
Okay.
This is something that I couldn't do, but I think I can get all of the names.
Are you going to throw up pictures of each of them?
I mean, you as the editor can throw up pictures of all of them.
Well, I need to find a picture so then I can properly quiz you.
Properly quiz me?
Yeah. How are you going to be able to know if I don't have have a picture for you to see?
Oh, you're going to make me do the pictures?
I want you to see.
Oh,
I want you to be able to name them from the picture.
Like I can do 4 of them.
Well, that's what the game is for, and that's why we're going to have fun.
All right.
Okay.
So let me close out. I had their names up over here.
Oh, you cheater.
I closed it out. They saw the light leave my face.
You were going to cheat your way through this
I wasn't going to cheat. That was for me testing whenever you got their names. I don't know their names. Their actual names.
Okay. Well, here, I will do all of mine first.
Okay. No.
Okay.
No, well, I do the picture.
Okay.
And then you can tell me what their name is, really. Because I can't imagine they're going to be like, hey, here's a picture of Tay. That's the only one. You say Tay a lot. I don't know which one that is.
But what's his BTS name?
I don't know.
Oh, you're about to find out. Okay, hey, don't look at...
Okay, I'm not looking.
Okay, well, now I'm going to have to... I'm starting out hard for you.
Okay.
Because...
You should start out hard?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to pull myself back so I can actually see your screen.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
Who is this member?
Is that...
This is the one you always struggle with.
I know. Is that Jin?
No.
Is that... No.
No.
J-Hope?
This is J-Hope!
Okay,
Woo!
Jin and J-Hope I don't know very well, so I always get them confused.
No, have that.
Jin is Mr. Worldwide Handsome, right?
Jin is Mr. Worldwide Handsome. Boom. So, I don't know... Do I go ahead and name his full name?
Give his full name.
So...
Which I think is probably Jin, isn't it?
This one?
Yeah.
No, this is Hosek.
Oh, wait, sorry. This is J-Hope.
Yeah, this is J-Hope.
I immediately looked away and forgot that it was J-Hope.
I know his, like I said with some of them, you say like the last name first, but whenever learning about BTS and scrolling and trying to identify each of the members and become more integrated with the army, this is Hosek, Hoseok.
You don't have to spell it.
I just was trying to, because I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right.
Uh-huh.
So Hosek.
Hosek.
Okay. Now, look away.
Okay. Tell me when.
I will. Okay. Who is this?
Oh, that's easy. That's RM.
What does RM stand for?
I think Rap Monster.
Yeah, it's Rap
Right?
Monster.
Such a goofy thing.
Um,
That's a guy that's nearly 30 who came up with that name when he was nearly 20.
yes. Because he's like 28, 27?
Yeah.
No, he's 20. Yeah.
He
around
regrets that 17-year-old decision.
there. Yeah, because they've been a band for about 10 years. So, Namjoon. Namjoon. That's his name.
Namjoon?
Namjoon.
All right. I can't confirm that, but I'm going to assume that it's correct.
It is.
Okay.
Trust me.
All right.
Nicholas.
Yeah.
Trust me.
I trust you.
Okay, 1 minute. I have to save
Alright,
this picture so I can have it in the video so people
know what I saw.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that one later. Turn away.
Okay. Eyes closed?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, J-Hope is the one. I forget him every single time.
I know you do, which
when I
is
try
why
and list them in my head, I'm like, I don't know. That's the one I forget.
That is absolutely why I opened with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because I knew he was the one that you have the hardest time with, but you did very good. I'm trying to find a picture that I feel like is identifiable for you.
Please, pick a hair color that I have seen before. So it's not like, oh no, I've never seen that hair color on either or any of them, so I don't know who that is.
Okay. Who's this?
Is that Jungkook?
That's Jungkook!
Yeah,
Good
I know
job!
Jungkook. Jungkook always gets the earring.
Yes.
That's one of his. That's
He's not the only one.
I know, but like he always has those types of earrings, the sort of dangly ones.
Yes.
And so
I believe his real name is also just Jungkook. I don't believe.
Oh, is it not Jungkook? I'm sorry.
I don't know. I've heard it both ways.
Okay.
I think the K is just really soft at the end. But I believe that is his real name. I don't believe I've seen.
Let me verify.
People call him Cookie a lot. Kookie, like as a term of endearment.
His name is John Jungkook.
Yeah, and that's his last name.
I think John is how you pronounce that.
Yeah, that's his last name. Jeon.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now let's see. Okay, who is this?
That guy looks pretty handsome.
He does look very handsome.
Yeah. Is that Jin?
That's Jin.
All right.
That's Mr. Worldwide Handsome.
Mr. Worldwide Handsome.
Similar. So, Jin is just a shortened version of his name. It's like Seok or Seeojin.
Kim Seok Jin?
Yeah, Seokjin. Yeah, that's right.
Am I saying that right?
I don't know.
Okay, cool.
But that is his name. So, I'm 4 for 4.
Woo! I'm 1. Oh wait, 3
You're
1.
4?
I'm 3-1.
Oh yeah, because you kind of, but you.
Because I got it wrong first.
Yeah, but you like quickly recovered after I was like, "That's not Mr. Worldwide Handsome." You're like,
I
"No,
know.
you're right."
Like after seeing his face, I was like, oh yeah, I'm an idiot.
Close your eyes.
Okay. I was like, that other guy wasn't even nearly close as handsome.
I know. He's just so handsome. Okay.
I'm gonna mess up Suga and Jimin too. I get them mixed up too.
Which I don't. After I feel like we do this, I feel like you won't me having them individually like this.
Yeah, when they're next to each other, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah. They're the two ones that I would describe as like cute. They got cute faces.
Yeah.
And so like
they have chubbier cheeks.
Yeah, they got that baby face going on. The other ones don't have that. Jungkook is honestly like, I feel like it's got the most mysterious aspects to him. I don't know.
Maybe. All right, open your eyes. Who is this?
Is that Suga?
This is Suga!
Cool.
And his name is Yoongi.
Yoongi.
Yoongie.
Verify. That's right.
All right.
Bonus points for his last name.
Min. M-I-N.
Damn. She's good.
Now close your eyes.
Excuse me.
All right. Who is this?
Is that V?
It is V. And his real name is
V.
Taehung.
Oh, that's Tay.
This is Tae.
Ah! Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
You talk about him a lot.
I very much like Tae.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Which means this last one's gonna be easy for you.
Are we already out of them?
Yeah.
How many are there?
Close your eyes.
Oh.
There's 7 of them. Let's see. Hopefully I don't trick you.
Why would you do that?
I was just being funny. I don't plan on tricking you.
Don't trick me.
I don't plan on tricking you. I just was being funny. I was trying to psych you out.
Do one with pink hair.
One with pink hair?
That's how I know Jimin.
Okay. After that, I will tell a story about pink hair Jimin and your mom
Okay.
that I think is perfect for the podcast.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the perfect picture. What are you doing?
Yeah, I am trying to find the perfect
Just
picture.
get a really close up of his face.
I know, but like, they don't have very many good pictures with him with pink hair. They're mostly like concert pictures, and you can't really see him. This is a good one. Nope, it's too dark.
Is that Jimin?
This is Jimin.
Wow,
Yeah.
Jimin. I did it.
I'll find a good picture later. So Jimin's real name is Park Jimin. Park is his last name.
Mm-hmm.
But that is... I think I also did it!
Round of applause. Round of applause.
But Jimin and Sugar don't really look alike.
They don't, but they got the cutesy faces.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when
Like you said, they have the babier faces.
Yeah, it's the same thing with, like, Jin and J-Hope. They don't really look like one another, but they look different than the rest of the group for some reason. Like, RM and Jungkook have very, like, identical, like, they look very different to me.
Mm-hmm.
But then I like everybody else, I like section off into groups. Like, there's the cutes ones, there's the very handsome ones. V also is kind of on his own, though I do occasionally mix up Jungkook and V as well. So
You can, but I feel like always once you finally see V, because like you said, V really has a look of his own. I saw it best summarized. I was watching this video and it was like on Instagram. It was like a reel, like the TikTok version of Instagram.
yeah, you don't have to describe things to me.
Well, you don't really use Instagram, so I'm just trying to. I show you these things, but you don't really use them.
I know what things are.
And they were talking about Korean actors and musicians and stuff like that who fit American beauty standards.
Yeah.
And V is viewed as one of those that he fits the American beauty standard.
So freaking handsome.
Where, I mean, obviously all of them are very good looking.
All of them are beautiful young
They're
men.
very beautiful. I really, and I'll talk about that afterwards, but so for Christmas, you had your mom get me one of my favorite BTS albums.
Pink one.
The pink one. Persona, Map of the Soul. Or Map of the Soul Persona.
Mm-hmm.
Because then there's Map of the Soul 7, which is the last one I said that I wanted to get. Version 2, because I thought this was the coolest version. Because they have multiple versions, multiple, like, photo books with all of their albums.
It's an experience.
It's an experience, and it's super cute.
You gotta experience BTS, and by doing that, you buy their album. Please buy their album. BTS. Buy their album.
most of the images that I used for you were from like the Boy with Love era,
Oh, cool.
which is like
What is that?
2019.
Circa?
Sure. I'll fix it later, but I don't actually know the year, so I'm just gonna give it to you.
When you edit this, can you just like do your voice over mine at that part when you fix it?
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm like circa, and then it will be like
2018.
2018. Yes, perfect. Thank you. That'd be great.
But I was showing your mom, kind of trying to, because I just want to get people into BTS, especially our moms, who I think would both love them, because they have a lot of really dancey music, and that's what both of our moms kind of like listening to.
Yeah, and I think there's an element of that sort of like 80s rocker with like people like George Michael and things like that, kind of spirited away in BTS. So I can't imagine they wouldn't like their music and their personalities even.
But I was trying to show her, and there was obviously comments about lots of them. Like, she didn't feel, she was like, Mr. Worldwide Handsome is called Mr. Worldwide Handsome.
Yeah, she
and I
didn't
was
see
like,
it.
Wow.
I mean, I see it.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
But she goes, which one's your favorite? And I go, Jimin. And I showed her, she goes, the one with the pink hair?
Yeah, I mean, so that's just my mom coming at it, thinking you're considering which one that you're gonna marry or fuck.
Little does she know I'm married.
Yeah, and
It's a big
you
surprise.
fuck.
No.
Sorry, everyone.
But BTS, I don't know what it, because it's not really like, you know, most boy bands, the idea is you're like, oh my god, they're so cute and I love them and I have to be with one of them. And I don't know what it is, because it's not necessary. I just love them. I'm like, I want them to grow up and have these happy lives and get to do what they want and not become, because you know, the K-pop music industry,
It can churn them out.
it can turn them out. And especially like if you don't almost find this interconnection where you can bridge the gap to Europe and beyond, and especially America, they can kind of, it's like you get this short time frame and then
And they throw you away.
as I mentioned to you, because BTS is a big deal and they've been around for 10 years, the oldest one, Jin, Mr. Worldwide Handsome.
Yeah. He's grown into that baby face. That's why he's so handsome.
That's why he's so handsome. He's my age. He's born less than a month after me.
Mm-hmm.
And they recently passed the law, because in Korea before, there was like, as soon as you turned a certain age, you had to join the army. And because of how popular BTS is, they extended that to the age of 30. So that was really interesting. It just shows kind of how much impact they have, that they don't want to remove such a crucial part of the team, even though it's 7 members and you're like, oh, if one of them's not around, that's maybe not that big a deal. It's a huge deal. It's very important to the dynamic of this group. And I'm really curious to see, like, say in 2 years, especially.
So they just keep kicking it down the road?
Well, yeah, because like, let's say the coronavirus still isn't, is still taking up most of this year.
Yeah.
That means, and especially with how big their concert productions are and everything, that they have 1 year with Jin to really perform and give it their all. And I just can't see them taking that away, because I don't see BTS going away anytime soon.
How long do they have to serve in the military once they enter the draft, I guess?
I believe it's 3 years.
So, and that sucks because, well, can they enter at any time, or is it compulsory at a certain age, or
1 year and 6 months.
1 year and 6 months?
I am not positive.
Why not? Why not all of the members just enter the military simultaneously? So we just have this 1.5 year blip.
That's true.
Of no BTS.
It's just it's also weird though, because I don't know.
I don't know what the rules of the South Korean military are, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It is significant that they have such a large cultural impact on their home country that the country would consider changing the rules.
And they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, to even consider it, let alone go through with it. That's huge.
I know. It's one of the things that I really, when people, because they're obviously getting more mainstream now. I know for a few years, like especially on New Year's Eve, they were always the act on New Year's Eve for before we even left to go to Colorado, like our last year.
Yeah.
They were, I believe that's when they like Dope was really big, or like when it kind of came here for us. So that just kind of shows how long they've kind of been in the pop culture stream, especially for American audiences. And it's really funny to me because I'm seeing it really grow down. I'm seeing more people kind of pick it up, but there's a lot of like tendencies, especially from older millennials, or not, because we're not older millennials, we're like kind of the tail end, but millennials around our age, and they're like, will I even get BTS? Is BTS even like, can you even get into something like that? And
it's pretty grokkable. I get it. I get the appeal. Like, I'm not learning Korean and looking up Instagram accounts that, you know.
Call me out, why don't you?
well, that great montages of their greatest hits. I don't do that, but I totally like their music. Their music's great.
Yeah, well, I did, because I definitely, we've talked about this before, I have the personality where it's like, when I get into something, I really want to get into something.
That's true, yeah.
So going through Instagram, and finding those videos, it's more just something to help me understand them and get their personality better.
Yeah. Because
I like doing these things and having a whole kind of picture of who these people are.
So when we construct the dollhouse, you know which room each of them would get.
I would never do that. I would never do that.
She would never do that.
I would never do that.
She would never do that.
I would never do that. That's weird, Nicholas.
I agree.
So it's just one of those things. They were having fun. Yes, I have been learning Korean since you bring that up.
I bring it up.
It's going okay. It's a slow process, but I think I'm progressing pretty well. I'm really starting to pick up the alphabet, especially with the vowel system, and kind of seeing how they group into with different words, and see, like, usually you can pick up something and you can see it carried over, and I'm starting to be able to do that and recognize words and properly sound out words, but it's still like I'm in the very early stages. So we'll see if this continues, like not me learning it, but like if I continue to kind of notice those trends and really start to do it properly. I've wanted to learn a language. I'm not very good at Spanish. I've also tried learning Italian while I was in college. I can't roll my R's very well.
It does create a bit of a blockage.
Creates a bit of a blockage. I did have an embarrassing moment in college where I told my professor I couldn't roll my R's because he wanted me to say something, and he told me that everyone can roll their R's, and I said, that's not true, and he said, yeah, it is, just roll your R's, and when I tried to do it, it just sounded like I was, like, trying to, like, cough up phlegm, and he was, like, really embarrassed for me afterwards, and was, like, then, like, after class, told me to go and practice in the mirror. So I thought that was always, it's not one of my favorite memories.
I think that it's something that can be, like, approximated by everybody.
Yeah.
Because, like, everybody could learn to speak Spanish and probably approximate the rolling of R's. But I think the actual, like the core mechanical motion of rolling your tongue is something that some people just can't figure out. It's like some people can't make a clover with their tongue.
Yeah.
They just can't do it. So I love that. I love that story. I love your professor calling you out and then being like, oh, gosh. She can't do it.
Yeah, he was really embarrassed for me after that. And I told him, I specifically said, I can't do it. And he was like, no, you can. Just
no.
Just do it in front of our 25-person class.
Yes.
And I was like,
if you're going to do it, you're going to do it when the stakes are high.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool, thank you. But Korean, I haven't had that problem. It's more the way that my jaw kind of... how it sets when I say words. I notice, like, I kind of have to set it different when I say words, which I feel like sounds weird, but it's been a really fun language to learn. Yeah. You come in and I think...
the only thing that I can ever remember is, and I'm probably going to say it wrong, is Insimida? Ishinida?
Which is, like, the positive. What's the negative version? That's how I define it. Like, usually that's, like, the positive, like, if you have the...
Ishimida?
obscenita.
Obscenita.
That's like the not, the no.
Gotcha.
But I did think it was funny because our friends the other day, Danny K and Mr. Green Elite, they were streaming, and Danny K put up a little clip of Mr. Green Elite trying to speak Korean.
Yeah?
And I thought it was very funny. And I was like, we're doing this BTS podcast, video blog. I don't know what you call it. It's just our kind of talk thing. And them doing that cracked me up. And I was like, I'm going to bring it up because I love those guys. And if you made it this far, check out the Next to Nothing podcast. It's so much fun. The cast is great. And if you like gaming, and especially gaming on a budget, then that's the podcast for you.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. But back to it. I know we've been talking for a while, so I just kind of want to quiz you a little bit.
Quiz me?
Yeah, quiz you.
Okay.
So we'll start out easy. What's this?
That is a Korean heart.
Can you show me all 3 forms of the Korean heart?
All 3 forms of the Korean heart? It's just, I mean, okay, so you've got tiny heart. And it's for when you want to just show a little bit of love. But when you want to show, like, I really love you, you do a heart as you've probably seen before. And then finally, when you want to show love from afar, that's when you do all-encompassing heart. Now, if you have a group of people, and this is a 4th Korean heart, and if you have at least 2 people, you can form the big heart.
Why do you keep going up? Oh man.
But that one's been stolen by sororities, so.
Okay. So you did very good with identifying. You now know who V and Tay are, and that's a big win for you.
You said that like they were 2 different people, and so my brain was like, "Oh no, I don't know."
I'm so sorry. I just am proud. Who are the Soul Mates of BTS?
The Soul Mates?
Yeah.
I feel like Jimin is one of them.
He is one of them.
Is it Jimin and V?
It is Jimin and V
Okay.
because they
went to school together. So, lifelong love.
And that's why they're my 2 favorites. I just think all of their interactions are super cute.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
It might not have an answer. But who's the dad of BTS? Which one's the one that wrangles all the kids together?
RM.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Who's the mom of BTS? Who's the one that goes around cleaning up after them? Making sure that they look tidy. Which one would be that?
I feel like J-Hope.
J-Hope.
It's probably not true. It's probably Suga,
Suga?
if I had to be honest.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
He's the second oldest.
Uh-huh.
So it's Jin, Suga, RM.
Yeah, but RM's the
J-Hope?
3rd oldest. But
Yeah, I know, but he was the leader. He was the first member of BTS.
okay.
Jimin was the last member of BTS.
Okay. Are there songs of BTS without all of the members in it?
Yes.
Okay.
They each have their own little mixtapes, is what they call them. But like, and I've shown you.
I guess. Sorry, I meant. Are there songs before they were a complete group, like that are BTS songs? But like, who is the last member? Jimin, you said.
Oh no, I don't. I believe when they finally started releasing music,
They were
all
complete package.
together.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
It's just. Oh, and that's also another cool thing about BTS is like they're actually part owners of Big Hit now, which is also really rare for.
Is that their publisher? Or?
That is their publisher. That's kind of who found
Or
them and
I don't know
like
what
everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is this big process, but I mean, if you check out any like interviews or videos, you can see how close these people are, and I think a lot of times, like look at One Direction. I now feel like most of those guys kind of hate each other, and that was a very manufactured group.
In hindsight, you can see the cracks.
In hindsight, you can kind of see the cracks.
I always thought Harry just hated.
Yeah, you could tell
Hated all
that
of
he
them.
was a solo star from
Yeah.
the beginning.
Yeah.
And look at him shine. But I feel you don't see that with BTS. They're very close, and even though they might have they all have their one-off songs and they sometimes make it on albums and everything.
Yeah.
You can see how much that these people care and love each other.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it does seem like they really support the creation of music over everything else.
they do, and
So.
it's really cool because a lot of them are very heavily involved with the writing and the the choreography, the producing, because that's what especially Suga and J-Hope are like the big producers of the group, RM as well. Ironically, those are the three rappers, but they're very involved with the production of the music, and they usually on each track their names are there because they're the ones who have gone in afterwards, done all of the making sure it sounds nice and helping write the lyrics. Who are the dancers of the group? The best dancers?
Who are the best dancers? Well, I think Jimin is the best dancer.
Some
right?
people would I mean,
Is that not I thought that was a common opinion.
J-Hope and
J-Hope usurped Jimin?
and Jimin are viewed as the best dancers, and a lot of
Whoa.
people say that J-Hope is the best
Whoa.
dancer. Yes.
Last I checked in, Jimin was the best dancer.
Well, that's
Now I come back,
it's just
and J-Hope's the best dancer. I hope they don't break up over that.
it's been that way for 10 years, honey. I think they're still.
God, the contention. Well, Jimin's got somebody in his corner. I don't know if J-Hope does.
What does I purple you mean, and where does it come from?
I've never heard that. I purple you. I'm going to go out on a limb.
Okay.
And so purple is usually associated with the color of royalty. So I'm going to say, I would die for you.
No.
Because you're my king.
No. It was created by, the first clip that I saw that it was used by V.
Okay.
And purple is I think how he described it, the last color in the rainbow, and therefore it's all the things together, so it's this all-encompassing love. So I purple you is another.
I would die for you.
It's more
Because you're my king.
but
You're welcome, dude.
it's a big motto for ARMY. You hear them usually say a lot I purple you
Okay.
with the Korean heart.
Yeah. But they do the big one because it's a lot of love. Not that one. That's too big. That's if you want to love someone from far away.
Well, this is what they do a lot on stage. You see them a
Yeah,
lot. But
because
this
they're
is-
far away.
You'll see them. They do like this. But they do a lot of really cute, because it's Korea, you have a lot of their, the traditional kind of shows that they have where they have a lot of sound effects and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But they have a lot of cute series like BTS On the Run, I believe it's called. In the Soup was one that they did this year. And they just have a lot of things like that.
It's like a bunch of games and stuff.
Well, no, In the Soup wasn't. It's just a kind of
okay.
it's an insight into their life
Mm.
and who they are.
VH1's Behind the Music, BTS edition.
Yeah, I guess you could basically call it that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very cute, and you get insight. You get a lot of the BTS Twitter account. They usually get to post a lot. It's still managed, so obviously, there was the controversy this year. They did the Samsung ad, and I was irritated by this on their behalf, but they talked about the Korean War.
Yeah.
And China took offense to it.
Yeah.
And then they debuted their stocks, and it didn't do as well originally because everyone was like, "Oh, the China controversy. We don't want to piss off China."
Right.
And then it's it's BTS World Domination. So it kind of blew over, and now no one talks about it anymore. And it just was really dumb because you criticize them for not upholding what China wants you to think, it almost felt like, and that really pissed me off.
Yeah. Stand on your own 2 feet, Samsung. Don't
Well,
let
they didn't
China
drop 'em.
bully you.
They didn't drop them.
No, that's true. They just also dropped that ad really quick.
Yeah, they were like, cut
Cut the ad. Like 90% of our sales are to China.
I just like, it's one of those things. I don't like when stuff like that happens where, you know, it's just this revisionist history or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there is a lot of history there, and these boys should be able to speak their truth and how they feel about it and how they want to remember and honor it without being criticized because it doesn't fit how China views the situation.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Take notice, American media.
Also, their most recent album, which is this big chunker.
Whoa. That's larger than your head. That weighs more than your head, probably.
It probably does. It's very heavy. This was their comeback album.
Comeback? Where were they?
That's what I was wondering. I was really confused. And that's why I've been trying to learn and understand it. Did they kind of take a break in Korea, and all the stuff that we've gotten has been
It just came to us like all at once, so we were like, "Oh, they're so big right now."
And so then they toured a lot with a lot of their old music.
But
and
they've
now
been
this album is a very sweet and more tender album compared to the rest of their stuff. It's actually one of the reasons I really like it. I was listening to it yesterday, and it's a very sweet and sentimental album. A lot of it really talks about kind of their time with the coronavirus. Life Goes On is a big ode to that. But you also have things, his song that he wrote, this was like one of them that was kind of teased on in the soup, and we never thought, because I'm part of the army, we would get the full version of that. And
here it is.
Blue and Gray.
Blue and Gray is the name of the song?
Mm-hmm. It's a very sweet song. It's a very sad song, but it's just, you know, the idea of like wanting to be happier and in the moment, but being kind of held back by your own feelings and not being able to really fully be present, I guess you would say. It's a very sweet song. It's a very sad song. But...
Yeah, okay. So it's like an attempt to live in the moment, but the weight of the world prevents you from getting up to speed type thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get that.
But that's what I just like. I really enjoy them because I feel like there's a lot of thoughtfulness that goes in there. And even though they're managed by this company and there's a lot within the Korean standard that they
have to kind of fit into.
Yeah, they have to. They can't have girlfriends. They can't even like have the idea of showing off a love interest.
That is always strange to me.
Yeah, it's like you and I were talking about earlier. It's really this idea of it's like you could be with them,
right? Yeah, which is like a creepy thing.
Yeah,
for the marketing companies, but I understand that probably helps sell. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that the boy bands in the United States, they always suffer from that. Like every time one of them gets a girlfriend, it's like, oh, now I got to go burn that boy's picture because he didn't end up with me.
Oh my God, they're dating her.
They're dating her.
They have terrible taste.
I don't like her anymore. I used to buy her albums as well, and now I shan't.
So it's very interesting to kind of see the different standards, but the reason like I think that they shine through as I keep hitting home is they're very authentic.
Yeah.
Even within the standards, they always try to give you glimpses of who they are and what they stand for. Mm-hmm. And I think that really resonates with people, and that's why I think we've seen such a world dominating vibe of them, similar on par kind of to the Beatles, as Paul McCartney himself mentioned on the Smartless podcast. So it's kind of cool to see that, even if people don't think it. And then they've also done a lot to subvert the male beauty standard, and we kind of see these men who play with their hair color really put an emphasis on skincare. Mm-hmm.
Wear makeup,
have their ears pierced.
Yeah, and they wear makeup noticeably so.
Yeah,
you know, that's something that a lot of like rock bands in the United States would wear makeup, but some of the ones that are more like I don't know, not thematic.
Mm-hmm.
They would wear makeup just like you were going on a news broadcast and you just wanted to make sure that your cheeks didn't look rosy like mine. And now these guys, they wear very bright lipstick and different colors, and you can see their eyeliner and everything.
Yeah, they play with contacts, and I really like that because they show a lot. It doesn't. I mean, what the idea of being a man is really silly, in my opinion.
Whoa.
I'll say it here.
Trigger warning. We got a man hater over here.
No, I'm not. I just I think saying one size fits all, and same for women, it's very unfair to men, and this saying that they can't do all these things, because I would classify a lot of these guys as very manly men.
Yeah. I'd say, for me, one of the biggest attributes of being a man is really just
comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah, I was gonna say self-confidence.
Yeah,
is if you are confident in who you are, I think that comes off as just being masculine in and of itself.
100% agree, and that's definitely what these men are not ashamed to be themselves.
No,
and I think that's why people are.
That's why they're not allowed to date anybody.
Yeah, it's
because
too
there
dangerous.
are too many. It's too dangerous.
So yeah, no. Oh, last one. This one you do know.
Okay.
How did RM learn English?
How did RM learn English? Well,
because he's the only one that can speak English in the group fully.
Fluently. Well, you can get how he learned because of the way he sounds when he talks. He is 100% David Schwimmer.
Yeah, 100%.
He just sounds like him whenever he speaks English. So yeah, he learned to speak English by watching Friends.
Yeah.
And I have to imagine Ross was his favorite. So
he had to have been, because you just hear it. You very much hear it in his voice that he sounds just like David Schwimmer, and I think it's very funny. I also love that he's always like, yeah, I learned English from Friends.
Yeah.
And it's fun watching them do interviews and having him translate for all of them. And some of them from that, they'll try to come out and do their own English.
Yeah. A few, it seems like they can understand some English. All of them can. Because every now and then they're like, oh, I know what that meant. And you can see that smile. They're like,
I know. I have a cute story about Jimin.
Okay.
So Jimin, because all of them have tried to learn English to some
degree.
Dynamite was released completely. That's their first completely English song.
Yeah. Did they learn English to that, or they just learn it phonetically, do you think?
I think phonetically a little bit. But Jimin, one of the ways that he's been trying to learn English is by watching Boss Baby.
Is he going to come out sounding like Alec Baldwin?
Oh my god, can you imagine? He's the highest pitched singer in the group.
And it does sound like Alec Baldwin.
Oh my god, that would be so funny. No, because even his talking voice is a lot deeper than his singing voice.
Yeah.
Also, it's impressive that his voice is that high for his age, because usually that does not stick around.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's been. I guess RM kind of revealed that on one of his
That's really funny
live chats. I thought you'd get a kick.
Is he watching Boss Baby the movie just over and over, or Boss Baby the TV show on Netflix?
Maybe both. So
I don't know. I assume Alec Baldwin does not do the voice of the Netflix series, but
it would be still funny though if he just developed that
that way of speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so on the topic, you brought up that Sir Paul McCartney said that he really saw a lot of
the
Beatles and BTS and that sort of thing, and so I have a thoughtful question.
Okay.
Maybe it's thoughtful. I thought about it a little bit. So, music is one of the few things that I would say that transcends a national and cultural barrier.
Absolutely.
But it's not every song or every musician. There are very few that I think genuinely break through. For every BTS we know about, there are probably
one Psy who had 2 hits.
Yeah, 2 hits outside of Korea.
Yeah,
but he's still big in Korea.
Yeah. But that's a prime example.
Yeah. But there's lots of also American musicians that are popular overseas for 1 or 2 songs.
Yeah.
So why is it that there are a few bands out there that seem to be international hits? What what about the Beatles and BTS and musicians like that makes them a cut above everybody else?
I'm gonna be honest. I do think it's a little bit of the group, the pack mentality.
Uh-huh.
Whereas a lot of one singers, like it's like you're interested in. It's like the Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is huge here, but I don't know if she's
I don't know if she's big overseas.
big overseas.
Let's see. Taylor Swift popularity.
And that's why in their specific like areas they'll be huge and people really love them. But with like this almost group, it's like there's 7 of them to love, there's 4 of them to love, and it's uncovering. That's why boy bands, I think in general,
Have more staying power across the. Do you think it's like boy band? Would you classify the Beatles as a boy band?
originally yes.
Okay.
And that's what I think we're kind of starting to see, especially with this newest album with BTS, is I think they're starting to transcend a little bit of that boy bandness.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of finding their own footing outside of that. And I'm really too excited to see that grow.
So you think that it has 2 things. One, that group play is important.
Mm-hmm.
There's sort of that fraternity of these guys singing, because I don't think there's, maybe the Spice Girls were a good example of an international
absolutely.
female group.
Yeah.
But that fraternity of the sort of like sisterhood, brotherhood of
Everyone loves that, and everyone wants to see it. You want to see these people who are so closely intertwined, and you want to be a part of that.
Let's check it out. Checking out Taylor Swift's heat map of popularity. She's pretty popular everywhere except in Asia and the Middle East.
Yeah, that's what I thought, and that's where she kind of.
I assume
if you're missing out on that market, I still like. You're not fully transcending.
Yeah.
You're not fully bridging that gap.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously, like, my favorite story of my grandma is she was a huge Beatles fan, and she was a military baby, so they like lived overseas and everything, and they lived in Taiwan. And when the Beatles came there, she's on the front page of that newspaper, screaming and crying her eyes out because the Beatles were coming with a whole group of people.
Yeah.
And I just love that story, but that shows how deeply committed other countries were to the Beatles.
Right.
And I think we see that with
BTS.
Because I don't think we saw that with One Direction. And
No.
like you said, the cracks in their relationship were very obvious from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They were totally a band that was put together and they didn't want to be.
Yeah.
Whereas I think like BTS really, they wanted this.
Yeah. I mean, they were definitely assembled, but I think that it was a good fitting.
And I think that's why people like V and Jimin so much, is because they were friends before this, and you see that.
Yeah.
But there's like Jungkook was the youngest of the group, and Jin is the oldest. And there's tons of stories of Jin like being like, "Oh, I got a baby, Jungkook."
Yeah, like being a big brothering him all the way. Yeah.
And you see that there's a lot of this brotherhood because they were pretty young when they started this group. A lot of them were still in their teens, so that means they still were trying to find those friendships and those relationships and really find their path. And you see that, and I think that's why their relationship has continued to grow and why it's played so well. Is these kids, they were kids who found each other and really banded together because that's all you have when you're doing something like this.
Yeah. And that was something that Paul McCartney mentioned in that podcast, is like very few people in the world genuinely understand what it's like to be this popular, and for them to have one another and to share in this experience, because they're all so unbelievably popular. Not one of them is like, yeah, that's the one I don't like.
Yeah.
And
no.
it, like even if one of them is the least liked, it's still millions of people that like them to a level that is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And so, no, I think that everything that they do is awesome. But yeah, no, that was my question. That was my thoughtful question, is what makes them good? And I think we got to the bottom of it. If we want to make a boy band, we need to find a group of kids that love each other.
And here's my ending question for this episode.
What's that?
Who's your bias?
My bias?
Mm-hmm.
My bias. So at the beginning when we did those quizzes to figure out who we were before I knew who they were, Jungkook is who I got on a lot of those.
And I got Jimin.
And you got Jimin.
Yeah.
And so for a long time, it was him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was my bias, and I was like, that's who I am, so therefore I will love him the most. But after watching some of those videos and stuff like that, the Mr. Worldwide Handsome is probably my bias.
He's so funny.
He's very funny, and
also Mr. Worldwide Handsome, and he does it all the time, and it's because he's the oldest, and you can tell that he's very confident, but I don't know if he thinks he's as cute as the other members.
Yeah.
So the title is really like this big joke that he kind of does because he's a confident guy who's very funny, and he likes using his humor. Yeah. But also, he is very handsome. Yeah. So, 2 levels.
2 levels. Okay, so that's my bias.
So who's your bias breaker?
My bias, what does that mean?
It means the person who, like, you're like, they're my favorite, but those,
Oh, it's like, I'm in a relationship with Jin, but I have sex dreams about this one.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, God.
All right, so, my bias breaker, probably RM.
What?
Yeah, I like RM a lot. I think I feel that big brother energy that he's got going on for the rest of the group, and so that, I don't know. His Ross voice is funny.
It is. It's because it's very obvious, and I hope that we point that out to someone, and then they
can't unhear it now.
Like they're like, oh my God, he does kind of.
It does sound like Ross.
Because the same thing is like Ryan Gosling tried to copy Marlon Brando, and now that's what he sounds like, and he doesn't have like his normal voice anymore.
He lost his identity.
I love stuff like that. I love like hearing that in people. Bless you.
So sorry.
So I guess my bias is Jimin. Obviously, got my Jimin shirt. Can't see with all my hair.
Move your hair.
Jimin shirt.
Move the mic.
Move the mic.
It looks... The angle that your boobs are putting it at makes it look kind of creepy. It's like...
I thought the shirt was hilarious, and I still love it. It's so cute. And then my bias breaker is probably Tae.
Tae?
Yeah.
Mr. V?
I just love their relationship, so that definitely helps with that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, so I hope that we've made it clear that BTS is cool.
Super cool.
That you should give them a chance if you haven't.
Yes.
You should listen to all their music because it's all great.
Yes.
Play
them on Beat Saber if you have an Oculus.
Play them on Beat Saber. They are hard.
They're so hard, but I think that's why they're fun because first off, they're longer than the
they're like a lot of their songs are like 5 minutes long.
But secondly, it's like the amount of effort they put into those songs with like the movements, it's so much fun.
Yeah, there are some of them that you definitely can feel the inspiration from the dances that come with those songs. Like there's a few where you like do this and like I've definitely seen them like jump up and so like when I do it I obviously have to jump.
Yeah, he does. He's like
so yeah, no, they're great. They're a pervasive part of every media now. So if you don't get involved, you're missing out and it's your fault.
And one day, we're still practicing, but one day maybe we'll have a BTS dance video. It's just, they're very hard.
They're hard.
They're so hard.
And I don't want to do the dumb TikTok version. I want to be
the 5-minute awesome break it out at a wedding.
No, that's so long. Such a long dance. I'm so out of shape. Like I'm getting sick just thinking about how long that's going to be.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. It was another great episode, and we will see you next time. Gotta do your little heart.
Oh, yeah. Korean hearts.
Bye.